Well, welcome to Russian River Brewery. I know you've been here before, Jason. Amazing to have you here.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for getting up early and flying down, but at least you can kind of get from Yakima to STS.
That was an easy trip. Great. Glad to be here.
We're happy to have you here. The reason you're here is to brew our test batch, so pilot brewery batch down at R&D for our Hop Grower Tribute Series, which for this year, crop year 2026, big announcement is going to be with Perrault Farms. So hence having you here, Jason. So it's amazing. We're thrilled to have you part of finally have you, be part of the Hop Grower Tribute beer. I mean, we kind of have an ongoing Hop Grower Tribute with you and the Carpenters and the Smiths through Loftus, just with Row 2, Hill 56, Simcoe 25 ends up being that. Mosaic is often, Perrault beers. But this one's going to be a little bit different because we're going to venture into a lot of new varieties that we haven't really touched. Obviously, we'll throw a little bit of Simcoe and a little bit of Mosaic in because how can we not, use those hops when we're brewing with Perrault. But 100% of the hops will be grown by you. We already actually have them in-house in the hop freezer here. And tomorrow we'll brew with all pellets, but when we do the big bash, it'll be both whole cone and pellets. So the base is going to be HBC 638, then supported by a little bit of Dulcita as well as some crush. And so, and then
It's a great combo.
Then the little bit less of Simcoe and Mosaic, like I just said. But would love to maybe hear about those three hops. So when I look at the descriptors, I see HBC 638 is like a real utilitarian hop, and that's really going to be the foundation, supported by Crush and Dulcita, which can have some really big, bright tropical notes and peach notes from the Dulcita. So, but love to hear a little bit about the background of those hops and flavor profile.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks. It's an honor. It's really cool. Cool to be down here. Cool to do this. So great opportunity. So yeah, it's a great combination of hops. These are ones that we've been working on, for a number of years in various, stages, but all of them have been through a couple decades now of or getting close. We're 2 decades on some of them. The cross for Crush, for example, I think I have to look back, but I think it was originally made in 2006.
So wow,
somewhere in that time frame, 2010 the latest. So been around a while.
Yeah. So that's
been in the works.
20 years ago.
Yeah, all of them. I guess backing up with the base being 638. 638 is one that I got excited about years ago. It was. I'll have to look back to confirm, but I believe the mother on that one is Equinox.
Okay.
HBC.
Yeah. Actually looked something up and it did say that.
Yeah. So that one was selected because in the field it had this really great, like, kind of a light citrus key lime aromatic that was really unique. I really experienced that in that way before with that kind of clean aromatic. So that advanced because it also had really nice yield. And so we started getting into some breweries, trying it out in different places. And there was a few comparisons being made to Centennial, for example. I think the commonality was like a modern Centennial. And I'm not exactly sure what that means because I still consider Centennial a pretty modern hop. So, at least aromatically. So, but anyways, that's kind of where that hop came from. We advanced it up into several commercial size acres. Actually, originally for Odell. Working with those guys out there on what we call the sponsorship.
Right.
And you've been doing that
we have
before, and so you know how that works. And it worked great. It just didn't fit into their production.
Right.
They love the hop. It wasn't anything wrong with the hop. Just wasn't really fit for them. So we've kept the acreage in now.
Yeah.
Because of that. Agronomic performance, awesome. It's really easy to grow.
And agronomics is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean,
is it picking window early or
it's late?
It's
late.
late.
It's an interesting hop because when you get into those late varieties during harvest, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes you're starting to get into some color issues out in the field. You've been out there late and during hop harvest. Not all the hops are as pretty as early on, and But this one, I remember the first time we kilned it, walking up the stairs to our kiln, and it was when we first built that newer kiln. So it would have been harvest 2012, 2013, somewhere there. And we had the first bed of 638 laid out. And you could see the green glowing reflecting off the wall. And
That's pretty cool.
it just holds this bright green color right up to the end of September. So it's very late hop.
Yeah.
Very beautiful, still bright green at the end of August. So
Well, you showed it. I look back at my notes, and you showed it to Natalie and I first in 2013
Yeah.
in some experimental field. So that was the first time that we saw it,
Yeah.
and so fun to finally brew with it. I did look back in my notes, and we have never brewed with HBC 638 or Russian River, so this will be the first time. Then Dulcita have never brewed with it. Obviously, it's on the rise right now. It only got released a year or two ago. And then Crush we've used just once as an accent hop. So really what will be about 80% of the hops in the recipe we've not brewed with. So the pilot test brew tomorrow will actually be really important because of that, and which is amazing. But maybe you can talk a little bit about Dulcita and then Crush as well.
Yeah, so Dulcita came about, like you said, it's been out just a couple of years. It was part of HBC's breeding program. Michael Ferguson kind of he led the development on that through his fast track program, and so it's kind of moved through the program quickly, but really just stood out right from the get go for its just big kind of peach candy kind of aromatic. Yeah, that's the way I can best describe it.
Yeah, and that's what I've read and heard from a lot of brewer friends as well.
It's very pronounced. A little bit. You can draw a pretty easy line between the aromatics of some of the aromatics of like a Sabra type hop, and Dulcita, but I think it's overall cleaner. Yeah, a little less of some of those more woody herbal characters that you get maybe from the Sabra. Out of the field, does great. It's kind of what I consider kind of a early maturity. Yeah. So it fits the pigment windows pretty well because it's just prior to Citra and Mosaic and all that. So grows really easy, grows really nice. We planted it when we first planted it. The assumption was that it was more of an early kind of along the Simcoe pigment window. So we planted it right in the middle of the Simcoe yard. So we have this 40-acre Simcoe field and we put 5 acres of Dulcita, and that's where these hops came from. Was right in the middle of that just to see the comparison, and those are virus-free Simcoe, and it yields well. It outperforms the Simcoe by a little bit. So does good, but it is a little bit later. It's not quite as early as.
And I read that it can have some minor notes similar to Sabro, so that was why I didn't make it a big part of the recipe. It's just a supporting hop that's going to support the 638, but I'm really excited to see what it can do. And we've got a little bit in the background if we do want to add a little bit more. And then top note will be Crush in the recipe, and that's just to me has almost like that big giant New Zealand kind of tendency aromatics to it.
Definitely. Crush is one that the more it's getting used, the more beer it's recognizable right away. You just pick it up. It's Crush. It's really, I think, a really beautiful tropical aromatic. Very recognizable fruit characters. I think the way you've talked about layering, they say with 638 as a base, and those two that kind of complement. I think that's smart because those two could definitely become Dulcita and Crush could definitely overwhelm.
They can become dominant. Natalie and I have had 100% Crush beers, and they are very dominant. We've had 100, both an IPA and West Coast Pills. So I think it's going to work the way that we have it staged in, and then like I said, some Mosaic and Simcoe, which usually for us are always, Simcoe is always, we have some from Perrault, and then the Mosaic happened to be that our 2025 selection was all Mosaic in whole cone and in pellets, so we'll have both in the recipe as well. And so we're excited. So again, tomorrow's test brew, and then we'll be brewing in August, and the release of the actual distributed beer will be in September, and obviously we'll get some up to you and have it on tap at the farm for harvest. Exactly.
Cheers.